Tommy V in Michigan. He was on fire this morning.
Okay, thank you, Tommy V in Michigan. Yes, sir. If you share my prayers.
Tommy V's on. Yeah, we'll jump over there.
Tommy V doing great stuff over there.
Hey, Mr. Austin, are you ready on Williams?
Yes, Sean, I am.
Is he in court?
Yeah.
All right. Bring Mr. Williams up and we'll go ahead and do this real quick. Mr. Williams, raise your right hand for me. Mr. Austin, do you both solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
And Mr. Austin?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, you can put your hands down. Mr. Williams, you're before the court for a petition for revocation. I'm sorry, on the case 2022 CR 06972. So, sir, you were before this court on State of Georgia versus Dontarius Lamarcus Williams, case 2022 CR 06972. You entered a plea or were convicted of the offense of simple battery family violence on the 12th day of December 2023. You were sentenced to 12 months on probation. You have 6 months and 27 days remaining. Your sentence was not told, but you failed to report on January 15th, March 13th, and April 24th of 2024. You last reported on May 7th of 2024. You failed to document proof of enrolling and participating in the Family Violence Intervention Program. You failed to document proof of completing 40 hours of community service. However, you have documented 25.5 hours as of March 18th, 2024, and you failed to pay. You are currently $630 in arrears. All right, Mr. Williams, what's going on that you couldn't make it to do your reports and to get your things complete? What's up with the Family Violence Intervention Program?
I don't.
I'm gonna need you to speak up for me.
I enrolled in the program already, and the reason is that I ain't got no vehicle, no transportation, so it's been kind of hard for me.
I can't hear a thing you're saying, so you have to speak up. I know I don't scare you.
Mm-hmm.
It's muted. It's muted, Mr. Austin.
I said, I had enrolled in the program, and it's been kind of hard for me to get around. I ain't got no transportation.
Okay, so you don't have transportation. You enrolled in a program. Did you enroll in a program that's near a MARTA station or a MARTA bus stop?
I did one virtually.
Okay. And so you don't need to get around. All you need is a phone or the library.
Yes, for the program.
So if you got a virtual program, you're not having any trouble getting around. What's the issue?
No, I'm talking about getting around to the community service.
Well, you've been doing the community service. You got some time in on that. But if the Family Violence Intervention Program is where I really need you to put your efforts.
I had enrolled. It just
what's the date? Tell me the date too.
Date was Friday.
Okay, I got that you enrolled, but then what happened?
Well, I just enrolled Friday. for my first class where they do orientation.
Mr. Austin, you have a recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. He has provided documentation that he has enrolled Friday. He's scheduled to get his orientation for the family violence class this week. That was his recommendation from Ms. Chang. He's told me that he can finish up his community service by the end of the month. And as far as the money, if possible, he has to get transportation, he said, to and from for the community service and pay for the classes. Is there any way we can have his probation fees suspended?
Okay, so I'm gonna need you to speak up, and y'all check the volume on the computer. And let's see if we can maybe put a speaker a microphone, or put it next to a microphone, because I'm having trouble hearing. So you said Ms. Chang has recommended what now?
Recommended that he get started with the family violence classes by May 31st, which he's already provided proof that he's enrolled.
Mm-hmm.
For him to have his community service completed up by the end of May, and to, if possible,
By when in May?
May 31st, Your Honor.
Uh-huh.
And if possible, can he have his probation fees suspended so that way he can afford to continue to go to the classes?
Okay, is he working? Mr. Williams,
No, ma'am.
when was the last time you worked, Mr. Williams?
I've been doing like a staffing company. They do like daily jobs and stuff.
You've been doing what?
Daily jobs with a staffing company.
Okay, can you apply for some jobs where you can be permanently hired?
I apply for a job every morning, at least 3.
Okay, all right, so. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and follow Ms. Chang's recommendations. She's recommended that the probation supervision fees be waived and that you be allowed to start your program by May 31st and complete your community service by May 31st. Okay, you need to be diligent, Mr. Williams. You need to get it done, because if you show up the next time, there's possible jail time on the board, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Austin, did you have anything else for Mr. Williams' case? Does
No,
he
yeah.
have a report date?
Yes, June 5th at 2:00, but I'll give him a card for that information.
Okay, I sent over the information.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Williams. Get it done.
Thank you.
All righty.
Your Honor, we have an announcement for Sumter.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, we're asking if he can come back next week. He has a CDL. And yesterday I learned about that situation that they were talking about in the traffic, or with the red light. And
Yes,
I
ma'am.
advised him that I'm not sure about how even I know how the Georgia law will affect his CDL in that way, but I don't know how it'll affect employment. So I told him he may want to figure that out.
Did you want to continue it until the next available calendar, like maybe a month out?
No, Your Honor, we can come back next week if that's possible.
Okay. Ms. Val, is that good?
What exactly is she needing?
So we just need a 1-week continuance on this one. He has to check some things about his CDL.
Is it for Sumter? Who's it for?
Sumter, yeah, on the arraignment calendar.
Yes, we can do it next Tuesday.
All right,
you,
thank
sir.
you. Mr. Sumter, just make sure you get all the information necessary, and then we'll see you next Tuesday, okay? Same setup.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. Take care.
Thank you, Judge. And we're
All right. All right, so we are ready. On the calendar, the first name that appears to be female, is that Kiera Raquel Riggins?
Your Honor, this is actually Miss Finley, Jessie Finley.
Okay, I started to say it was a lady, but then I saw Dale and I was like, okay, this this is I don't know. We could go either way. That's a name you can give to either child and they be fine on the playground. Miss Finley, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, put your hand down, Miss Finley. So, Miss Finley, you're before the court on 2024 CR 04071. Jesse Dale Findley, you're represented by the law firm of Lister, Holt, and Dennis. Ms. Hahn is at the podium with you. You have DUI combined substances, DUI drugs, DUI less safe, failure to yield the right of way. Ms. Hahn, how does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Guilty to count 1 and guilty to count 4. I believe 2 and 3 would merge.
Okay. All right. So, Ms. Finley, by entering a plea of guilty to counts 1 and 4, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, factual basis recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. The factual basis is that on April 18th of 2024, Officer Adams was dispatched to Frontage Road and Old Dixie Road here in Clayton County in regard to a motor vehicle accident. Upon arrival, the officer met with Officer Garcia, who had already been investigating the accident, and had advised that it made contact with the at-fault driver, Miss Jessie Finley, who advised that she had 2 cans of Four Loko and a capsule of meth and 4 hits of a crack rock about an hour before the incident occurred. And based off of the conversations, saw that she overcorrected on a turn and ended up hitting another vehicle in the lane oncoming to traffic. During the investigation, the DUI was turned over to Officer Tomat, who read the defendant her Miranda rights as well as implied consent after she was placed under arrest for her admissions as well as causing the accident. She agreed to speak to the officer as well as did consent to the state administered chemical test of her breath. On the intox 9,000, she came back as a .060. So she was charged with DUI, and based off her admission, she was charged with DUI combined substances. The state's recommendation in this case, on count 1 is 12 months to serve 25 days, credit for time served, the balance prorated to pay a $500 fine, 40 hours of community service, the risk reduction course, no drugs and alcohol, random screens, a substance abuse evaluation, and any recommended treatment. To complete 1 AA or 1 NA meeting a week. And 1 NA meeting a week, as well as 1 bad victim panel. Counts 2 and 3 will merge. Count 4 is a $150 fine, as well as restitution to be provided to the named victim, who is Erberlin, EBERLIN Ramirez, RAMIREZ. The amount of restitution they're requesting is $3,000. However, the state is going to ask for that to be set for a restitution hearing as we're still waiting on the receipts.
Ms. Hahn?
Your Honor, we are going to first ask that you accept the negotiated plea. But after speaking with Ms. Finley, she let me know that, well, first we talked about the root cause of what has been affecting her and what's kind of fed into her addiction or issues with substance abuse. She let me know that it's okay to share with the court that she has been a victim of some abuse and is currently and has always struggled with some really deep family issues. I'm kind of giving the watered down version, but nevertheless, we talked about what would prevent her from having issues like this in the future. And she says that she's been really focusing on her faith, and that she understands the consequences of her actions. We talked about the fact that she could have killed somebody. She understands that. That's why she's emotional. She regrets her actions, and that she is letting me know, or she did let me know, that she's committed to maintaining her sobriety. I told her that, doing the AA and NA, there are faith components to that, that will help her. And so she's, I don't know if the word is excited, but she's ready to commit herself to doing that.
Okay, is this a first in life DUI?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And then
The only other criminal history she has is a possession charge out of Texas, but her criminal history is very limited.
Okay. And the last thing, Your Honor, is that we did just briefly talk about where she's going to go when she gets out, because she understands that being around the same people that she's been around, could affect her addiction. And so for now, she's said that she's going to go directly to a friend's house in Griffin, but that we did talk about her going back home to Texas, where she has the support of her mom. And so since she'll be on probation, I guess at some point we would potentially be asking that if she does go back to Texas, that her probation be handled out there. But because she will have support there versus being here where she just doesn't really have the support system that she needs. But
okay,
that's how you accept the plea.
We will, when that becomes a factor, then probation can address it with me, and then I'll get feedback from you in the state with respect to transferring her probation. But at this time, it's going to be here. It's going to be in person. Ms. Finley, I know you know, but I don't know if you know, but you could have definitely taken you could have taken somebody's life with your actions. And I understand that people have that they're dealing with different types of trauma. A lot of this behavior comes from that, but instead of drinking and getting it just seems that people choose the path that is so much easiest. Let me go drink or take drugs, as opposed to let me find a counseling program that I can afford and let me start going every week. And I get that the harder thing is to address the trauma. The harder thing is to be vulnerable and open and speak the trauma. But it's just like if you have something that is in a can and it's spoiling and it's producing those gases and the can is expanding, it's gonna blow because that spoiled thing is still deep down in there. But when you go and talk to somebody, all of those bad things that you are harboring, that you're keeping, that you're covering up are going to come out. And when they come out in a controlled way, then you're going to be in a better position. But if you keep stuffing that stuff down and putting drugs on top of it, all you're going to have is something that hurts not only you, but a bunch of other people. All right. So I'm going to accept your plea of guilty to counts 1 and 4. Counts 2 and 3 will merge. Count 1 is 12 months to serve 25 days credit for time served. The balance will be probated for you to take pay a fine in the amount of $500. With the DUI, it's going to be closer to $1,000. But I would prefer if you would focus on the restitution primarily, and then we can handle the other stuff on the back end, but restitution first. Second is 40 hours of community service, a risk reduction course. You're to have no alcohol or illicit drugs. You're subject to random screens for alcohol and drugs. You'll take a substance abuse evaluation and any treatment that they may order you to take. And one MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving Impact Panel. And also one AA meeting per week. And you will show proof of having attended the AA meeting per week to probation. Okay. On count 4 is running concurrent or consecutive? Because that's a lot of money.
If it works better for her, would it'd be better to do it consecutive with the option to terminate if everything's done in the first year. That way she has time to do it.
And I would rather do it that way also because the restitution is so expensive. Also, I would like for, if she's willing to run it consecutive, I'll waive the supervision fees for the second part of it.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm just going to explain briefly.
Okay, go ahead. You can mute if you want.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're ready to continue.
All right, so count 4 will run consecutive to count 1. And that'll give her additional time to complete any of the outstanding requirements of count 1 during the term of count 4. Okay. All right, Miss Finley. How old are you, Miss Finley?
I'm 36.
Do you have children?
Yes, ma'am.
Who are your children with?
They're with a friend over in Griffin.
Okay, Miss Finley, you've got to get yourself better for your children. Children don't ask to come here. When we bring them here, a lot of us put them in some horrible situations. So since they didn't ask to be here, it's incumbent upon us to make their lives better because we do better in our lives. You have got to motivate yourself to get better, not just for yourself, but for the fact that you have children. You brought those children in here to life. They don't deserve to not have a great life. All right. So whatever you're dealing with, you need to deal with. You need to get some counseling. You can go when you are processing out, ask to speak with a chaplain, see if there are any counseling programs. I know Families First used to have some counseling programs. I know some of the domestic violence, some organizations, and we have some really good ones here in the state of Georgia. They have counseling programs that are either no cost or low cost. They have group therapies that you can be a part of where you can share what happened with you with other women who are grown and men who are going through it. So please don't just say you want to get better. You got to put action behind your words.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right. You can go back with the sheriff's office. Probation is going to meet with you at some point today. Okay.
Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.